Give me a second. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to be before you today, bringing you another interesting episode pertaining to men and women do not know their place within the relationship. When I first started this, hold on, Tanya Clark. When I first started this particular series, I was going to title it Women Don't Know Their Place Within a Relationship. And then several women didn't like the title, so I decided to merge it together, Men and Women, to explain that men and women do not know their place within a relationship. And I'm including myself. I'm not exempted from anything that I have shared since I started doing Facebook Live. Just before I signed on, I was thinking, what is my purpose? What is your purpose? Yes, some people get married, have kids, go to work, eat, sleep, get up, do the same thing over and over. And they're happy with that type of life. But there's others like myself, always wonder, do we have a purpose other than what I just stated? We reach deep within ourselves, question ourselves, find out that we have maybe goals and dreams and visions and purposes. And we feel that we can make a difference in other people's lives. And I'm one of these particular person. I know the things that I've shared over the years and past, people did not like it. They expressed themselves in a way. But I learned through my experiences and my trials and my tribulation to travel the road that I travel. I had to die to what I thought I knew and accept the truth, even though it hurts. When we allow ourselves to put ourselves in our own self-cocoon bubble of lies, we shield ourselves from the truth. We refuse to accept the truth because accepting the truth requires us to die to what we thought we know. We can have a college degree, all the money in the bank that we think we can have, property, cars, children, or whatever, and be happy, and that's fine. But then there's some like me want to make a purpose in other people's lives. We live in a world where everyone is doing what's right in their own eyes. Everyone is saying what is right. Everyone is saying what's wrong. Everyone is against the truth, calling the truth a lie, and vice versa. We live in a world where we must seek the truth. We live in a world where people don't consider 1 + 1 is 2, is what I think, what I feel, what I want, what I believe, what's in it for me. And that is not good. We need to wake up and begin to recognize that the problem that we have in our life, or the problem that we had experienced, has a cause. I am an author of 10 books. I'm doing it, writing to share my thoughts. You can go to He Still Speaks Now Listen. I'm sorry, you can go to Amazon.com and type in The Hidden Tears of Black Male and you see my book. Or you can hit He Still Speaks Now Listen.org, and that's my website, and you'll see the books there. And my YouTube channel, The Hidden Tears of a Black Male. Getting the message out there through social media. I was never one to go on social media because I always felt that if I do go there, I want to learn something from what I hear and read. But then I was one that sat in the corner and figured that my words, the thoughts, were only concerning me, and I didn't want to share it because I may sound stupid, or it may not be well received, or whatever I thought of at that particular moment. But I decided to come out of my turtle of a shell mindset and begin to share. You can go look on Facebook. I think on the Anthony or Home, you see all the videos. Every video that I've done Facebook Live, I upload them to YouTube. So I started this particular series, Men and Women Do Not Know do not know themselves within a relationship. I have spoken to black females, white females, young and old, and surprisingly, I was given information that went along with my thoughts. It depends on who you talk to. Some females would admit that they are in their right place based on what money, college degree, or whatever. Or they may don't want to admit that they have problems, and the problem that they experience has caused problems in their life. And then I heard in my own mind, maybe I would perceive, Anthony, who are you to tell me anything? I'm just a messenger. Did I know this stuff when I was married and got divorced? Not really. Did I hear it in the church? Not really. I approach relationship based on what I thought I knew, the books I may have read, observation from other couples, asking questions. But basically, I was in a relationship I was in many relationships where it went by feel and sight and what I thought how a relationship behaved. I did and say things that I'm not proud of. I did things because I was selfish. I was prideful. I wanted what I can get out of it. Yes, I hurt other women. I hurt their feelings. I said things. I left them. I abandoned them. Even when I was married, got divorced, or even when I was dating, it's all about me. And I had to learn, and this is not easy to share what I experienced in my life, because most men would not, a woman would pick up the phone real quickly and call someone, another female, to share what they're going through. And men would not do that unless they got a close father or grandparent, but they keep it to themselves and then don't blame a man. They blame a woman for whatever. And that is wrong. Men should begin to open up to express how they feel within a relationship. We do feel, we have feelings when we are in a relationship. A man cannot tell a woman what it's like giving birth to a baby, but a woman can explain it to another woman what it's like giving birth to a baby. I can only say what I read in a book. So this particular episode and many others will come before is from my experience, my relationship experience with other females, me asking questions from other females, surprisingly giving information to learn. And I always say, have I really been in love? Yeah, I can say I've been in love. How? Because I felt good, what they did for me, and how I look and whatever. Is that true love? Is love based on sex? Is love based on communication? Is love based on how they look, their appearance, how they dress, what they possess? That is not true love. That is emotional love driven by every second and minute and time of the day. So it's my hope that things that I will share with you will cause you to begin to look at yourself and say, what I thought I knew was right. It may have served me well up to now, but I realized it's only temporarily. Excuse me. It's only temporary, and it only served me for that purpose at that time. Because my feelings, our feelings, is subject to change at any moment in our lifetime. Excuse me. Any moment. So I say whenever I do an episode, I want to always refer back to 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. So don't be so quick to turn off and think I'm going to be teaching Bible study. I'm not coming from that position. I'm just using this particular scripture. When you will say you are in love, when I said I was in love, 1 Corinthians 13:4-8 did not apply to me. And I'm quite sure it may not apply to you, and somebody you may have not known. I do know. If we say that we are in love, then our love for whomever, our spouses, I'm not married, your spouse, if you're married, you're thinking about getting married. If you say that you love this person and they love you, this shall fall in the realm of what I'm going to share with you. This shall fall in the boat. Excuse me. This shall fall in the boat of understanding where you are. Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? People will shy away from the truth because they're afraid to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. When people shy away from the truth, they don't want to hear the truth because by hearing the truth, they feel that they will have to commit to it. Or if they don't hear it, they can ignore it, or they can say, well, I'm not going to listen to Anthony because who is he to tell me anything? He don't know more than what I know, or he just can't can't even explain, can't even see what I see. It's not about what you see. So when we say that we're in love, 1 Corinthians 13:4 tells us, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor, it is not self-serving, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoice with the truth. It always protects, always truth, always hope, always preserve. Love never fails. If you are not experiencing this type of love, then you need to ask yourself, why are you not experiencing this type of love? Or your love for your spouse is based on what you think, feel, want, believe, how it benefits from you? Think about it. Begin to question, those of you who are married, that the things you have done or is doing right now, does they fall in the category of what is true love? Anything other than what I just shared is not love. Love does not keep record of wrongs. Love does not hate. Love does not despise. Love does not do the things that it should not do. So when we do whatever we want to do, we end up hurting ourselves and hurting other people. And I say this to say, just because we are doing things, have done things in our lifetime, doesn't make it right until someone come to us and point the finger and say, Anthony, what you are doing is not right. I was at the pool today, and I heard a female walk up to another female. One was in the pool and one was on the surface, and they said, what's going on? And she said, we talking about messy. I said, messy? And I remember hearing this from a female say, females can be very messy, which then become messy how? In the way they communicate with each other. They can be vengeful, hateful, despiseful. They can really go at you if they really don't like you. They can talk about you. And so the woman said, are you including me in this messy? And she said, no, I'm not doing it. So I overheard the conversation, bits and pieces. And the lady was saying, how you communicate with me and the tone of your voice, I felt that you was being messy. And then she said, well, you was texting me, but I just perceived from your text, even though it was typed, I could perceive that you was being very messy. She said, you ought to have come to me personally and talked to me about whatever you thought of me. And then I began to think, people like to text. Text is non-emotional. It's just words. I can't hear your voice. I can't listen to you, see if you got problems, see if you got issues. Hear that you got from the sound of your voice. I cannot do that with a text. So these two women were discussing a messy conversation that had happened between both of them. One thought the other was against them. And I said, why? I heard that term because a young lady has shared her views about how females can become messy. And I know this particular topic, men and women do not know themselves in a relationship, can push buttons on the men's side, and especially on the women's side. If you feel bad and you're hurt by what I'm saying, then ask yourself the following question. Are you doing what I'm saying you're doing? Are you experiencing things that I'm revealing? Then are you having a messy experience with another woman and how you communicate? Are you expressing yourself? And then there was another incident I will get into when I get into the message. It was a man and a woman with a small baby, I think 5 months old. The woman got in the pool and left the man with the baby, and the baby was crying nonstop, and the guy was doing his best to feed the baby with a bottle, and the woman just sat there and looked at her husband or boyfriend, whomever, and the baby just kept crying and kept crying. Everything this man did not stop the baby from crying. And I said, well, if the woman get out of the pool and get and touch the baby would stop crying. And then I had a enlightenment moment. And you mean I have done this very same thing. Then I thought about it. The baby wanted its mother. What if the baby did not recognize, even though it's his father, her father, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, did not recognize that man did not look like a woman, whatever the baby perceived, maybe the smell or the image that the baby see when he looked at the female. What if the baby were distinguishing between the man and the woman and did not want to have anything to do with the man? So at that very moment, I said, this message could apply to that. Men and women do not know their place within a relationship. A man should behave and respond differently when it comes to his child. A woman should do the same thing. There must be a difference between a man and a woman when it handles a child. A man should not do things that a woman needs to do for a baby. Some people may not like what I'm going to say because they've been doing it. I have done it myself, but when I had got a clear understanding, because if you think about it, if both partners are doing the exact same thing except breastfeeding, if the woman is doing that, if they're doing the same thing, the baby will grow up not knowing who's the man, who's the female. They would not do that. Even an animal, a dog would know who, not calling the baby a dog would know who they can. If you have a dog or see people with a dog and the dog is living in a 2-adult home, the dog would know who they can get away with. Mostly they get away with doing things with the female. And when the man come home, the dog know best to try that because they know they're different. So even if an animal knows its place within a relationship, we as human beings need to know our position within a relationship. I know it can be offensive to some and say, there's nothing wrong with a man doing this and that, and that's your belief, that's your opinion, that's fine. But in the long run, when a child grows up, they should have a distinct difference on, this is my father, this is what I can do, this is what I'm not do, because a man cannot breastfeed a baby, only a woman. And now you start seeing commercials where the roles are reversed now. I've seen many commercials where the man is pushing the stroller, the man is carrying the baby in the front, the man is doing things that will normally a woman do. And someone said, well, that's nothing wrong with that. To you, it may nothing be wrong with it, but it's not normal for a man to do it. And a lot of TV shows, and a lot of stuff come on TV, is also showing reverse roles. Man is put in a feminine role when it comes to certain TV shows and commercials. And if you're not paying attention, it may look cool. You may either apply it to your life. So I just thought I'd throw that. And I said, wow, even that scenario, those two, the messy woman and the baby incident, flows with what I have shared from episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. And now I'm doing episode 4. So it was meant to be heard to those who want to know the truth. I cannot make you drink the water if you're thirsty. You have to choose to drink the water if you're thirsty. You can deny yourself to drink, and you can starve without water. We must begin to die to what we think we know and begin to say, you know what? I am not in my right position within my own relationship. We need to be faithful within a relationship with friends, spouses, and children, and extended family members. We must express how we feel, what we want, what we need. That will go a long way, as I say in 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4-8. Our verbal pointing of the finger will eventually destroy any type of relationship. Our verbal pointing of the finger will destroy a relationship. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 3 and 4 does not point the finger. It actually tells what is required of you and I in a relationship. If we apply those principles in a relationship, we will have true love within our relationship, not emotional love. Emotional love will hold back. I'm going to point the finger. You meet a man, you meet a woman, you ask him who you dated before, what you like, and you share some most secrets with that man or that woman, and you start dating each other. And all of a sudden, when you start arguing and fussing, the man, he or she may bring up, oh, I see why he or she left you. Oh, I should have listened. I should have really thought about what you said. I see what kind of man you are. I see what kind of woman you are. So you're verbally pointing the finger. You're using what that person had experienced in the past, and you verbally point the finger back at them and say, oh, I see where that man left you. I see you have issues. I see you got a problem. You don't listen. You don't think. And whatever they may choose, it might not be in a nice man. They may even use profanity. When both individuals begin to move away from verbal finger pointing and focus on the problems, their life and self can be much better. They will experience a lot of things. For that reason, we must do what is right regardless of what the other person does. We must do what's right. If the person don't want to apologize, if the person don't want to forgive you, if the person don't ask you to forgive them, if the person is stubborn, hard-headed, don't want to even consider what you're telling them, just simply do what's required of you. To those of you who are married, we should not have to ask someone to prove their love to us. 1 Corinthians 13:3-4 does not say it. You should not ask your spouse to prove their love for you. Okay, prove that you love me. They bring you a gift. That love is not strong enough because of the gift. Prove that you love me, do this and that. So when you tell someone to prove that you love me, you are grading that individual on how they respond to you. You're grading that person on what they have done for you, what they said to you, what they decide to do for you. So we should not be asking people to prove our love to them. A person who is working to experience true love is not going to say, a person who's working on experiencing the true love as I described in the beginning of this message, is not going to say it's your fault. I don't need to change. I don't need counseling. I will change when I see you change. Will not insult he or she. Think about expressing himself verbally because of fear. A person would not express himself because they may be fearful of the person that loved them or care for them or say they care for them. There should be a difference in the relationship. There should be a difference. No, your spouse should not be 100% person to satisfy your needs. You can have outside interests where your spouse is not involved in the relationship. He doesn't have to be here. She doesn't have to be around you 24/7. But you should share quality time. As I heard, most men get married, forget that they're married, and they start hanging out with their friends because they got the wife home. And then they come home and they're so tired, they don't want to do anything, so they fall asleep. Or they get fussy because the wife is saying, where you been all day? Who are you to text me where I've been all day? I don't have to answer to you. But yet, if the woman go out, it's a big no, no, no. You can't go out unless I give you permission. You can't go out because I don't trust you. You can't go out because I don't trust other men because they may hit on you. So we see reverse roles. It's easy for a man to say, I can go out and do what I want to do. And yet when a woman go out and do the same thing, they have a problem with that. That is a relationship that is not in the right position. When a spouse tells he or she does not spend time within the relationship, that spouse should ask, why do you feel that I'm not spending enough time with you? They must listen and then truly listen and begin to solve the problem and say, what can I do to improve on my relationship? Do we need counseling? Do we need to talk to someone that we trust? By listening to your spouse, you can hear what matters to them, not what you think, feel, want, and believe. Don't be afraid that you don't hear anything from your spouse because you may think that they're hurting you. You may not like what they're saying, but you must begin to say, I'm going to listen to my spouse because I can learn something from them. We must remain, excuse me, we must, let me see what I got. We cannot remain in our verbal finger pointing and expect things to get better. We cannot remain verbally finger pointing each other and expect things to get better. It's not going to get better. And even if you think it got better, if you are verbally finger pointing each other in your marital relationship, and at the same time, when you go to bed at night, you decide to engage in a sexual relationship because you're married, and you wake up the next day, don't expect that that problem has been done away with. It has been solved. No, because one of them going to bring the conversation back. Can you bring this conversation back up again? I thought when we had sex and we made love last night, it was forgotten. No, sex should not be used as a basis to erase a problem, solve a problem, or think the problem should go away. We cannot do that. The verbal finger pointing seeks to find the solution. True verbal finger pointing seeks to find a solution to an ongoing problem. You should not have to settle for the bad, disgusting verbal finger pointing. True verbal finger pointing. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you drinking? Why are you coming home? Why are you not making it to bed? Why are you not washing clothes? Why are you not washing dishes? Verbal finger pointing. Verbal finger pointing. It's not pointing your finger at the person. It's the word that you speak. You're verbally finger pointing yourself. I did not thought it was a term, actual term called verbal finger pointing until I got into the message. We who call ourselves Christians, there should be a difference in our lives. There should be a difference where we make a difference from those who are looking on from a distance. If you are doing the same thing non-Christians are doing, then where's the difference in your behavior? There should be a difference. If we who say we are Christian, we should follow the model as 1 Corinthians 13:4-8 tells us. We should be a true role model for those who want to know the truth. We who say we are Christian, there should be a difference in the way we talk. There should be a difference in the way we express ourselves in our communication towards our loved one. We should communicate in a manner of politeness, effectiveness, a caring, not self-centered. We should go through this. And I'm coming back to me. Did I know all this when I was in a relationship? Not really. I thought I did. Not really until I started getting into this particular topic and discussion. I realized that all the relationships I've been in was not on the foundation of 1 Corinthians 13:4. It was based on what I thought, what I feel, what I want, how it benefits me. And most men would not admit that. They would not admit that they were the problem in their marriage. They caused the problem. They got married. They forgot they was married. They did not take care of the wife. They just did what they want to do and figure, I got her. She's going to shut up. She's going to stay with me. She's going to tolerate me. She's not going nowhere because she's pregnant. And most men will do out there, sad to say, will try to get the woman pregnant up. I mean, more than 3 or 4 kids. So they won't go anywhere. Then you have the older men who been married for 40 and 30 and 50 something years, decide that they want to live young again. So they decide that they're going to dress young, earrings in the ear. Some even wear their pants on their rear end. They may buy a fancy car. They may cheat on their wife by getting a younger lady, all to feel good. They self-talk themselves by verbal finger pointing at self and say, well, I'm not happy with her anymore. Or they look at someone from the outside of their marriage and begin to be seduced or begin to think that they want something different. So they will leave their wife. They would get a divorce from someone they've been married to for 20, 30, and 40 years and meet a nice young lady. Only that won't last, because when the money dries up and whatever he thinks that he's pleasing that young woman dries up, he's going to be left alone. He can't go back home. So you have a lot of older men out there who have left strong foundational marriages because they want to live a lifestyle. They have verbally finger pointed themselves out of a marriage. You should avoid verbal finger pointing. We should avoid verbal finger pointing. Let me put my glasses on. We should avoid verbal finger pointing. It was considered rude to point your finger at people on the spot. Even if your hands are in your pocket, it is still possible to point your finger to someone verbally. And that's a definition I looked up. It is possible to verbally finger point your finger at someone when your hands in your pocket. How you may be thinking? Verbally. Improperly use of the word you. The you has become your finger. You are no good. I should have listened to my mother. You are ignorant. You are a dropout. Whatever word they use, pointing the finger in the direction, you are pointing. Your words is verbally pointing the finger at your spouse. Your verbal words are verbally pointing the finger at your extended family member, even your kids, even your children. If they are talking back at you, they're verbally pointing their finger at you. Who are you to tell me what I need to do? That was back in your day. I'm going out. I'm going to decide who I'm going to date, even though I'm 10, 9, 8. 7. You got young kids under the age of 10, in the age of 15, have decided that they going to date whomever into oral sex, anal sex, or whatever you can think of. They are actually doing it in the sound of my voice, and parents are aware of it. Some parents have let their children stay in the room by themselves when they're in another part of the house. They have spent the night. They have moved in because they say my mom and my dad is not treating me right. So you have the relationship is all out of order. Everyone is not in the right position within the relationship. We as adults, we are as concerned parents, as concerned people. If we have authority over that individual, we need to begin to speak up. Not in my house. You are under age 18. I'm paying the bills. You are the child and I'm the adult. You need to obey by my rules, not your rules. A lot of parents has become friends to their children. That is out of order when it comes to relationship. And it's not, well, people don't like to hear it, but it's the truth. Kids has become the adult in some relationship in their family, and parents just get along just to get along. So they don't do things, they don't say things as they ought to in the relationship with their children. They let their children get away with everything, mostly everything. And then when the child gets pregnant and they had knowledge that the child was out there being promiscuous underage and have sex out of marriage, and then they may seek an abortion, or they may keep it quiet, or they may say, blame the guy. All that is verbal finger pointing. You is the pointing of the finger. You. Before we point the verbal finger, we need to point it out. Our problem cannot be someone else's fault. Quit talking behind someone else's back, verbal finger pointing. Talk to the person in person, express how you feel. Tell them how you feel. Don't be afraid to share your thoughts and your feelings with your spouse in fear that they may not accept it. Share it, even though they don't respond in the way you want to respond. Because when you refuse to share how you really feel about your loved one, then you may decide that, well, it's best cheaper to keep her, cheaper to keep him. I'm just going to get me a boyfriend or girlfriend on the side and just tolerate it until I can't tolerate it anymore. Or I will tolerate it till the day I die. She will never find out. Love. Quit talking behind other people's back. We must talk to the person who we have a problem with. Love finding. We must find the true love, as I admit. 1 Corinthians 13:3-4 is the true love that we must make. If your loved one is responding to you in a manner where they're taking notes and always bringing up your past, if they're not supportive in your goals and your dreams, are they not complimentary, are they not expressing themselves about the things you do, are they don't want to share in what you like, then you need to discuss that with them. A marriage, you should not be married and yet you're still separate in your mind. You should not be married and still separate in your mind. You as individual need to begin to wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to respond in the manner that I need to respond. Let me see, I think I had something I want to say. People stick together. For that reason, we must do what is right, regardless of what the other person says or does. You should not have to ask someone to prove their love. If a person is working to experience true love, is not going to say it's your fault. I mentioned that. Think about how you're expressing yourself to the individual. Think about how you're expressing yourself when you say you. When you say you, then you're pointing the verbal finger pointing at the other person. Before you respond, think about how you're going to respond. Think about what you should say. Think about things that you need to just ignore, because you know it's not about, I need to win this battle tonight. You need to begin to say, I'm going to approach this new information. I'm going to approach this new information that I learned tonight. Verbal finger pointing. I have done it. And I think if you are truthful with yourself, you could say, those of you who are married, or those of you who are dating, or those of you who are about to get engaged, are you verbally finger pointing at someone else, when you use that word you need to change. I've been with you for 4 or 5 years and you have yet to change. When are you going to change? When are you going to do this? Think about it. You knew this person had this behavior, but yet you submit yourself to be involved with that person. You can't make that person change their behavior. They're going to have to want to change. You need to point the finger at you. You need to do what you need to do to keep the relationship on a solid foundation. You need to apply 1 Corinthians 13, 3, 4 in your life. In your life, when you apply in your life, when you are experiencing the love in your relationship with your spouse, when you are not keeping verbal notes, when you are not attacking, think about it. I'll give you an example, and I said this in another message. I'll give you a scenario. The husband and wife are at home. We're going to use the morning. He gets up in the morning. In his mind, he will probably have liked breakfast before he walks out the door. There's no breakfast. Does he relay that to her? No. She's sleeping in the bed. She don't even think about getting up and cooking breakfast because she worked last night, or she may not work last night. He goes to work, comes back home. The house looked the same as he left it. He knows that she's not work. What have you been doing all? So when he comes and opens the door, does she greet him with a, hey, baby, how you doing? How was your day? Anything I should know? What did you learn today? You know, share what you went through today. No, she's texting on the phone with her girlfriend. She's watching soap opera with her girlfriend. He walks in the kitchen, the dirty dishes still in the sink. The clothes are still left around the bed when he left. Then he asks her, say, what have you been doing all day? She said, nothing. He's right. She has not been doing nothing. Then he says, well, I got to go out for a meeting. I got to go out. Or maybe he said, what's for dinner? She said the same food that was left over last night. I didn't think I need to cook because it's leftover. So you have that scenario going in the household. The marriage is out of a relationship because you're married, but you're separate. I always admire those old soap operas, those old time shows where you see the husband and the wife working together to bring a true foundation. I say that to one particular person, said, I would never do that kind of thing. And I thought about it. She probably right that she's never going to do it, but will her relationship last? We need to go back to the old foundation. When you see a man walking on the street, another scenario, he should walk on the outside in case something happens. He can push off to the side and protect her. When a man go pick up a woman, I've learned to do that. Before he stops outside the front door, he should get out, whether it's raining or not, open up the passenger door and let her in, and they drive off. When he get to the destination, he should stop and say, hey, wait a minute, let me do this. Go out, open the door, and let her get out. And then he close the door. Or if it's raining, he take off his jacket or make sure he have his raincoat. And he protects the woman. When they go in a restaurant, another scenario, when they sit down and they're looking at the menu, oh, baby, what would you like me to order for you? Give me a moment. Waitress come, not right now. What do you like to have, baby? Some wine or water or a lemonade or whatever. Oh, my wife would like to have some water. Thank you. Oh, baby, she said, baby, I'm going to the restroom. He stands up. Respecting her, she goes to the restroom. He see her coming back. He stands up and sit down when she sit down, or he may be more polite and pull a chair, depending on where they sit in the restaurant. Someone said, that's stupid. I'm not doing all that. That's too much work. I don't need to do that. I done married her. I don't need to do that because I already got her through what I, did before we even say I do. I don't need to do these things. I know when I was walking in the mall, I felt weird holding my wife's hand. Why? Because I was not accustomed to doing it, because I did not know that was a part of showing my affection toward my wife at the time. Now I'm divorced. So a lot of things that we refuse to do within a relationship, a lot of things that we refuse to do in a relationship can destroy our marriage. We need to come back to the basic, as in saying, you know what? I see and I heard. I listened to episode 1, 2, and 3, and now 4. Am I behaving in a proper relationship as it pertains to my children? Or my children has become the adults and I have become the child? Am I behaving in a way to improve my relationship? Take a list, write down the good and the bad. What are you doing to improve your relationship? What are you doing to work on your relationship? Have you come together with your spouse and said, baby, we have a problem. Can we have a talk? Turn off the TV, put the phone down, and let us talk. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm feeling. This was on my mind for a long time. He or she should say, well, why you feel that way? Well, you should engage in the conversation. If the person refused to listen, if the person refused to talk, there's nothing you can do about it. You just keep doing what you want to do. Keep doing the right thing in a relationship. He or she may come on and they may change their mind, and they may not change their mind. I can hear, I'm not going to do that. That's too much. That's hard work. I'm going to get me a girlfriend. I'm going to get me a boyfriend. I'm going to have someone on the side to do what I want them to do. That too is wrong. I'm not sharing anything with you that I had not experienced myself. We all, if we are truthful with ourselves, you can say that you heard yourself in this message, that men and women don't know their true position within any kind of relationship. Children, in-laws, mother-in-laws, father-in-law, niece, extended family member. Everyone needs to know their proper position within the relationship. And when we are in a proper relationship with one another, we can be blessed and receive the blessing from the God as we know him to be. When we are out of order in this, look at, if you don't believe nothing I said, if you don't accept nothing, anything that I just said, look at 1 Corinthians 13, 3, 4, and go down the list and check it off. Are you doing this? Are your love patient? You having patience toward your loved one? Is it kind? Is it polite? It doesn't envy. And I figure this is number one, keeping score, keeping a mental scorecard, a verbal report card. Are you encouraging your spouse? Are you supporting your spouse? Are you really quickly supporting everybody else around you, but not your spouse? So when your husband or wife come home, and do you greet them with a hug or greet them with a kiss? Do you greet them in a form that's appropriate according to 1 Corinthians 13, 3, 4? Are you really expressing your love? Are you really being truthful? Are you doing a lot of verbal finger pointing with your mouth? You this, you this, you this, you this. It's the you syndrome. We need to get out of the mindset of it's all about you. We are being selfish. It's all about you. And for that reason, our marriage, our relationship does not last very long. We need to pull ourselves from, where's that? Probably left it. Had a section with you, and you. True love seek out answers. We should avoid from this point on. To those of you who are the sound of my voice and those who you will listen to in the future, we need to begin to call into question if you want your marriage to be improved, if you want a better relationship with your spouse. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard trying those things. And I can tell you what's going to happen. When you start being nice, according to 1 Corinthians 13, 4, your spouse is going to think you're cheating on them, have cheated on them, done something you shouldn't have done. They're going to say, you never act this way. You bring your spouse some roses or send them to work, to a job or his job. You have a box of candy. Oh, baby, I tell you what, you don't have to cook today. We're going out for dinner. I tell you what time you going to lunch? If you can make it possible, both of you all go to lunch. Let's go to lunch. Let's have a date night. Let's have a night where we get some, if you have kids, let's have the kids being watched by someone that we can trust. And let's have a date night. Let's have a date night. You know, you have kids, so you can have a date night with your daughter, your date night with your son. You have a date night for each person in the family. And then you have a group together with your family. And I always thought about all the relationships I've been in. I never experienced a true love. Yeah, I've been married. Yeah, I have kids. Yeah, I kissed. Yeah, I had sex. Yeah, I did all these things. But deep in my mind, I still was lacking something. I was lacking something. And because I didn't wait till the right woman came along, I want to be like everybody. I'm not saying you need to get a divorce. No, I'm not saying you need to get a divorce. I'm not telling you need to get a divorce. I'm saying if you want your marriage to improve, if you want your relationship to improve, listen to episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3, and now you listen to episode 4, and begin to apply it to your life. Apply it in a way not expecting any response. Apply it in a way not expecting anything. When they say, when the husband comes home or vice versa, if you do not have a job, if the husband has become the mom, that's a problem. He need to get out and work 2 jobs, support his wife. The wife should not be the breadwinner in the relationship. The wife should not be the only one working while the man is sitting on his rump doing nothing, playing Xbox or playing sports or hanging out with the homies, and then expect the wife to come home to cook the meal and do everything. He should be out there working. And if both marital partners agree that they can work, then that's their decision. But a man should not be living off the woman's income, sweat and brow, and likewise. If they agree to the wife stay home, then that's fine. But a man should not. If the man is able-bodied to work, he need to get off, stand up, and go out there and find some kind of job. If he has to get 2 jobs, support his family. He can't say you make the money. She can't say I make the money, I'm not going to spend it. I'm not going to do a joint bank account. I'm going to keep this account separate. We people should not get into marriage where their mind is still separate. I keep my own bank account, you keep yours. I keep what I had before I met you, and vice versa. So they never come together in the marriage because they're still thinking separate within the marriage. They're still thinking separate because they're saying, what are they actually saying? In case our marriage don't work out, I already got my stuff, my own bank account. So they have never come together in the right position in their mind. They may walk down the aisle, they may say the marital vow, then they put the finger on each other's finger, and time they walk down the aisle and go back home, it's like they're still single. They're not communicating effectively. They are pointing the verbal finger of you. You need to do this. You need to do that. You do this. I do that. It should become I am the problem. I did this. I did that. I'm responsible for our problems. I'm responsible for not doing this. I'm responsible for not coming to you and discuss what matters to me. I'm the one who's not sharing how I really feel about our situation. No, I don't want a divorce, baby. I want us to go counsel. Let's go to someone where we don't know either one of us, and I want to save our marriage. Daughter or son, you cannot behave this way in my household. If you do not like my rules, if you're over 18, you need to spend some time, get a job, and find yourself a place to stay, because you are not going to live under my roof, treating me like I'm the parent, the child, and you are the parent. We must begin to point the finger at self and quit using the verbal finger of you. We need to stop it. And like I said, you may not believe anything I'm saying. You may not accept what I'm saying. You may be experiencing it right now. You may be thinking that if I do these things, I may lose him or her. If you lose him or her, you're doing the right thing. They leave on their own. You didn't force them. If you're on the borderline of getting a divorce or getting married, then consider what I'm sharing to you. You will love it. You know, I'm learning this from my own personal experience, the do's and don'ts. It's like if I was smoking cigarettes and I know the consequences of cigarette, I'm not going to come to you and tell you you should not smoke cigarette, because I know the same consequences are going to fall on me. Because I experienced what I'm sharing tonight, I want you to consider what I had shared with you and say, you know what? I like what I heard. So it's my hope that this subject will cause you to evaluate self if you want to be in the correct position within a relationship. Then walk in the truth, true love. Walk in true love as it pertains to relationship. If you do what you have heard, I will say that you will see some improvement. Don't do it one day. Consistently do it. Even you may expect your loved one to change when you first do it. You may be disappointed that he or she does not change, but you will feel better within yourself because you have decided to do the right thing. Do the right thing within your relationship. You may get some instant results. It may take weeks, months, and days, and years. Don't divorce your husband, or don't divorce your wife because you have not decided. You have refused to decide. Well, I've been in this marriage so long. You don't know what I'm going through. I'm through. I'm through. If you feel that way, ask yourself this question. 1 Corinthians 13:3-4. Have your marriage been on the foundation of that? If our marriage, my marriage, and your marriage has followed the principle of 1 Corinthians 13:4, you and I will be very happy in our marriage, because it will not be about you need to do this, you need to do that. It would be an automatic, spontaneous thing where I will want to do this for my loved one. I will want to do this for my husband. I will want to do this for my wife. I will want to do these things because I'm doing it because of me. I'm not doing it to get them in return. If they do it, fine. We should behave as we ought to behave when it comes to relationship. Our behavior, our verbal communication, our physical behavior in any form of relationship with in-laws and children and family members should be based on what doing the right thing. Not about what they need to do, not about they should do this or that before. We should not have a report card or like a check-off list. Okay, they did that today. Okay, I give them a B. I give them a C. I give them an F. Okay, I'm not going to put out. I'm not going to do what I need to do. Okay, you're going to talk bad to me? I guess I won't cook you any dinner. I'm going to get mad and go to bed early. I'm going to turn my back against you. I'm going to do things in spite because I can't have my way. Nowhere does it say in 1 Corinthians 13:4 that we must have our way in any relationship with anyone. We must do the right thing, regardless of what the person do or say. We need to do the right thing. So it's my hope, if you like what you heard, I'll ask you to share with other people. To men out there who might listen to this, come out from the closet and express yourself that other men can hear that you too have hidden tears, as my book, the title of my book. You too have hidden tears that you are hurting verbally. Your wife or girlfriend or someone you were married to or going to be engaged to is physically beating you up, which I'll get into another topic. Verbally abusing you, not supporting you, or vice versa. When we begin to express ourselves on how we feel, then other men may come out of the closet and share what they're feeling. It's not always the woman is being beat up by the man. If the man is famous, movie star, football player in an athletic position, what if the woman is beating him up and he don't want to tell the news media or the police department or police officer or his friend that it's his spouse, female, that's beating him up, emotionally, physically beating him up? And I've spoken to many women have said they had no friends who friends, females, will beat up their husband physically and verbally and emotionally. And that's wrong. That is another form of you finger pointing. And most men will not share that they have been mentally, physically abused. I can say I have been verbally abused, not physically by women. I have been emotionally abused. I have been finger pointing abused. And I did the same thing too. So I had to come to a point where I had to admit that, yeah, this woman verbally abused me by how she said or what she did or did not do in my marriage, out of marriage. Did I deserve it? Nobody deserves anything. It's how we respond to what they do to us. So if you like what you heard, share with your other friends. Let them have an opportunity to hear what you don't think for them. Let your spouse listen to this and let them see themselves. Are they doing a lot of you, instead of I'm the problem, I need to do this, I need to work on my behavior regardless of what you do? And I'm quite sure if you're truthful with yourself, you will say that you are verbally finger pointing at the other person instead of self. And when you admit that, you have taken the first step. And then from that first step will become a change. Slow one, painful, but a change will happen. So visit my channel, YouTube channel, and watch the other videos in the right-hand corner. Please hit the subscribe button. The Hidden Tears of Black Male, and He's Still Speaking Now, listen to my website. And you see a lot of interesting videos and messages, and then I will post this particular message on YouTube if you do not see it, because sometimes when you put message on Facebook, it go down, you'll see it, but I think it's all in order. So thank those of you who joined this particular episode. If you have any questions, I will tell you my email address. Very simple, TODANOW at WRITEME.com. It's like today now, right at writeme.com. I say it again, TODANOW at WRITEME.com. Write me, share your story if you want me to speak about it on my message. I will not use your name. You can share your story. You can share the good and the bad. Allow other people. I even put a fictitious name that when you open up, that's the beginning. If you can open up to a stranger, it would be much easier if you opened up. And I solicit questions and comments from either females. If you know a situation where you want me to discuss, if you have a topic that you want me to discuss, if I don't know it, I do research and I will share it, because I feel that we live in a time when it comes to relationship, everybody is doing what's right in their own eyes. Everyone is married. Some are married. Some are not getting married. I would never get married, as some will say. I would just live together and shack up, because marriage is only a piece of paper. Whatever people say, and to stay single, and that's their choice. But we live by consequences of our actions. We need to begin to bring everything in proper order. You can't say that you did not hear the truth. You may say, that's your opinion, Anthony. That's what you're going by. No, I gave you facts. I gave you 1 Corinthians 13:3-4. Even if you don't believe, even if if you are atheist, don't believe in God, or whatever you consider yourself to be, we're going to reap the consequences for our action. It has nothing to do with black or white, male or female. There's a law out there. You don't believe me? It say if you take a bath on an iron and you plug it in an electric socket, there's a law saying the iron cannot go in the water. So you put yourself in the bathtub and you throw the iron in it when you're in the bathtub, what's going to happen? You get electrocuted and you probably die. Everything that we buy has regulation on what we must follow. When we violate the service agreement, we violate the rules, when we violate anything that we purchase, we may not get a refund. So everything that we see, everything we purchase, that we live and we use during our course of our life, you don't put water in the gas tank, you destroy the car. So everything has a rule. So don't think that we are exempt from experiencing the consequences of our choices. Thank you. It's my prayer that I'll be back next Sunday, bringing forth another interesting topic with this episode. We all need to point the finger at self. Quit using you need to do this, you need to do that. Look yourself in the mirror at night or in the morning when you get up and ask you this question. Am I doing everything I need to do to put my marital relationship in the proper order? If you have kids, am I doing what I need to do to keep it in a godly parent, daughter, son order? Am I behaving properly when it comes to going to work? Because we can be out of position in any form within any type of relationship. So thank you, those of you who joined me, Anthony, Lisa, and Tanya. God bless.